Last year, I went from grinding out inconsistent 10K months to hitting consistent $50,000 months in my coaching business. And I can tell you right now, they're not just bigger versions of the same business. They're three completely different machines. So in the next probably 12 to 14 minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what changes at each level. Okay, why 10K is simple, while 20K will break you if you're not ready, and what 50K actually demands from you as a human being. No fluff, no theory, just the brutal truth about what each level costs. And by the way, these are the same lessons that clients of mine like Matt, who just cash collected $66,000 this month, have went through and integrated. So we'll talk through all three levels step by step. What 10K takes and why you're probably overcomplicating it, what 20K is and why it's where most coaches burn out, and honestly, how to avoid it, and what 50K demands that nobody talks about. And by the end, you'll know exactly which level you're actually ready for and what needs to die in order for you to get to the next one. And more importantly, which level you want to live at long term, which level sounds like the business you want to run. Because honestly, guys, here's what most coaches won't tell you before I get into it. They're selling the dream of scaling without telling you the math. Like they'll show you their income screenshots and promise you can just add more clients to go from 10K to 50K or above. And that's complete bullshit. Because each level requires fundamentally different systems, different skills, and different volumes that most coaches are completely unaware of, naive to, and aren't prepared for. And if you're using the wrong playbook for the level you're at, you'll either burn out, break down, or stay stuck wondering why nothing's working. Maybe I should just go back to serving tables or start selling feet pictures. So let's get this iPad fired back up over here. The screen locked because I talked too long. So we're going to come all the way back up here. Let's talk about 10K months, right? Because right in here, your $10,000 month, it's where most coaches overcomplicate everything, right? 10K is actually stupid simple. Like here's the math right here on the screen. At a $2,500 average client value, which you can sell $2,500 packages as a health and fitness, as a mindset coach, I promise you. At a $2,500 average client value, you need 4 clients per month, okay? With a halfway decent close rate from warm conversations, which are going to convert easier, that's maybe 8 to 10 sales calls, which means you only need about 20 to 30 quality leads. Like, let this part sink in right here. You only need 1 new conversation per day at most. No 100 DMs. You have people in your network who look to you as a leader. And if that scares you to go to sell to them, it's time to get over that and lean into it, because good luck ever selling to strangers if you can't sell to people who already know, like, and trust you. Okay, so where can you get this from? Well, you can get it from your warm network. Referrals from existing clients and basic organic content and DMs. Basically, you take your warm network, you give them an offer that they want, and you communicate that through basic organic content and normal organic conversations. Right? You got no ads, no funnels, no complicated systems, just you, your skills, and your ability to have real conversations with people who already know, like, and trust you. Now, before we go any further, I gave you a little sneak peek there. I thought I had other notes, but here's where most coaches get stuck. They think they need to be perfect before they start. Right? They spend months building courses, creating content, perfecting their website, dialing in their niche. Meanwhile, the coach who just starts having conversations is already at $10,000 per month. But here's the trap, guys. 10K feels so good that you think you can just do more of the same to hit 20K. But that's where the math starts to change, right? 20K, the numbers will humble you fast. And most coaches aren't ready for what that math actually demands. 20K will honestly $20,000 per month will test everything you think you know about business up until this point, because the math starts to be unforgiving. This is where if you haven't practiced tracking KPIs up until 10K, it's going to be a slog at 20K. Okay. So let's get back to that math. At $2,500 per client, you need, get this back over here. At $2,500 per client, you need 8 clients per month. That's only 2 per week. You think, right? But to close 8 on a 40% close rate, which is really good for somebody who's not an absolute pro, like that's about where I'd want you to be with a dialed offer and message. That's it. Now we're going, oh wait, that's at least 20 sales calls. What is that? That's 5 per week. That's at least one sales call per day, right? So it's starting to go, but you need 60 plus good leads. You need to be generating 2 or more leads per day. Suddenly, your warm audience is tapped. DMs, too little volume. Like, in short, you need something most coaches resist: predictable lead generation. At $20,000 per month, you need systems, right? You need a structured pipeline that can get you 60 plus leads monthly, usually through ads or structured organic, right? If you have a dialed message, 20K is possible organic. Content that actually converts strangers into leads. So top, middle, and bottom of funnel, right? Not just getting likes from other coaches, but taking strangers and turning them into followers, followers into leads, lurkers into clients, top, middle, and bottom of funnel content. And you also need time efficiency to handle 20 plus sales calls without burning out and while still showing up for your people. Like, this is the raw truth of it. And this is why most coaches break at $20,000 per month, because it isn't just double the work. You are now talking about a completely different business model, right? You're no longer selling to people who already trust you. You're selling to strangers who need to be nurtured, educated, and convinced. Guys, I remember my first $20,000 a month. Like, I was exhausted. I was like, wait, how did we even pull this off? Like, I realized I'd built myself a really expensive job that demanded I be on constantly, tied to my phone, telling my daughter, oh, just wait for a second. Daddy will be right there. Luckily, she was still a little smaller, but that stuff imprints, right? Here's the brutal truth, guys. Like the stuff that most business coaches won't tell you. If you don't have systems to generate and nurture those 60 plus leads monthly, $20,000 will break you. And you'll end up sliding right back down to 10K or below. And I've been there. The peaks and valleys can be real if you're not prepared for the next level. But that's nothing compared to $50,000 per month, right? Because at 50K, the math demands you become somebody completely different. $50,000 months are a different game entirely. And guys, the numbers don't lie here, right? At $2,500 per client, you need, and there's intricacies here, right? Like, hopefully we've developed multiple offers by 50K. We're running with some numbers here today. At $2,500 per client, you need 20 clients per month, right? That's 50 plus sales calls. And that's 50 plus sales calls that show. When you're dealing with a bigger audience and you're fine-tuning show rate on your sales calls, you're going to have some people that don't show. So it's more than 50 sales calls booked for sure, which means you need 150 quality, good leads every single month. Let that sink in for a second. Not just 150 leads out of your audience right now, 150 repeatable leads every month consistently. And guys, as I've tried before, right? Like, I have tried. You cannot personally generate, nurture, and convert that volume. And then on top of that, serve them as a good ethical coach. Like, it's mathematically impossible. Okay. At 50K, like, you need paid traffic and ad spend, running 24/7, generating 150 plus leads monthly. right? You need a team, a setter and a closer, at least likely. A setter booking those 50 plus calls for you and a closer converting those calls while you focus on delivery and leadership and building and optimizing systems. You need delivery systems that scale. No longer is it just you hand to hand with every single client. You need to be able to handle this volume without micromanaging every step. And on the micromanaging, you need emotional detachment from the numbers. And you need to be able to lead a team. You're a business owner now. You're not just a coach. But here's what nobody tells you about $50,000, right? Here's the thing, guys. It's where authenticity becomes non-negotiable. Because when you are touching 150 plus new people every month, any incongruence in your message gets amplified. Any weakness in your offer gets absolutely exposed and ripped apart. I mean, let's be real. You can fake your way to $10,000 a month, like with warm relationships and people who like you, so they want to be inside your thing. And you can absolutely grind your way to 20K with hustle, but you cannot bullshit your way to $50,000 a month. The market will smell incongruence and absolutely punish you for it. Now, at this point, you guys are going, wow, this has been really helpful. I have a feeling I know what it takes, but here's what each level actually costs you, right? Like beyond just the math and the numbers. 10K? Well, 10K costs you comfort, right? You have to get comfortable with being seen, comfortable with making offers, having sales conversations with people who might actually say no to you and know that that's part of the game. 20K costs you time and energy. You're now managing 60 plus leads a month and 20 or more sales calls on top of serving the new volume of clients. Everything becomes about feeding the machine. 50K, cost control. You have to trust other people with your baby. You have to trust your team with 150 plus leads and 50 or more sales calls. You have to let go of perfectionism and focus on what only you can do. And that's the level that breaks most people because we have this white knuckle grip on our business. And we need to step aside and become the leader that our people need so that we can have the true ripple effect of impact in this world that they deserve. And the thing is most coaches aren't prepared for these costs, right? They see the revenue and think it's just about getting better at marketing. But each level demands that you become a different person. And the question is, like, are you willing to pay the price? Or are you going to keep lying to yourself about which level you're actually ready for? Are you going to keep saying that you want a business, but your actions will be incongruent with what you're telling yourself you want? And then it's not that you're upset that you're not getting that thing. It's your subconscious screaming, hey, you either want this or you don't. Figure it out. And here's my challenge to you guys. Stop bullshitting yourself about where you are. If you can't consistently generate 60 plus quality leads per month, you're not ready for $20,000 a month. If you can't handle 20 plus sales calls monthly without burning out, you're not ready for $20,000 a month. If you can't trust a team to manage 150 leads and 50 or more sales calls, you're not yet ready for $50,000. And this is okay. It's awareness. And we build these skills to get there. But the truth is, if you're stuck at 10K or below because you're afraid to make direct offers to the 20 or 30 people in your network who need your help, you're not ready for 10K yet. There are still steps to take to become the person who makes $10,000 per month. Each level requires you to shed the stories that kept you safe at the previous level. The world doesn't need another coach stuck at the same level for years. Like, you're telling your people that the journey's about growth, but you're sitting here wondering why you can't break through. It needs you operating at full capacity. making the impact that you're meant to make and getting paid what you are actually worth, what your life-changing skills are actually worth when people turn around and implement them. So if you're ready to stop using the wrong playbook for the level you're at, if you're ready to face the math and build systems that can actually handle the volume and shed the stories that kept you thinking that the wrong systems were the right systems, hop over to Instagram and DM me breakthrough. And let's have a real no bullshit conversation about which level you're actually ready for and what it's going to take to get you there. Because, if you're here and you've watched my channel long enough, you know that breakthrough isn't just about strategy. It's about becoming the person who can handle the math of what you say you want.